Hello there. Thank you for checking out this episode of Raised on the Radio. I am one half of the show. I am Colt Brocado, my good friend Patrick Blair in Zoom Lane as usual. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm great. What episode is this?
76?
76.
Think so, yeah.
76. What are we going to do for the 100th episode? We're going to, like, at the very least, put on tuxedos like Step Brothers, like we should have done for episode 50.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But see, the thing is with podcasting, since we only do it once a week, episode 100 seems like so close, but
Yeah.
it's still like 24 weeks away. So we're like next, or what, December maybe?
So let's do 2 a week. Why are we bullshitting?
Okay, let's do it. I'm sure my wife would be real happy with that, with a baby coming.
You'll be fine. I'll talk to her for you.
Okay, so I'm going to be in more trouble is what you're saying.
Probably. Yeah. You don't want me doing that. I was going to, do you know who Giannis Pappas is? It's a comedian.
I know the name. Yeah. Wait, no, I can't I know the name. I can't picture his face though.
You would know who he is, but he was on Rogan, and I didn't hear the whole episode, but they were talking about podcasts, right? And about how there's just so many now, but it's the new way to, I don't know, essentially earn a living, right?
Okay.
And it just reminded me again of how much of a bubble a guy like Joe Rogan lives in. Good bubble to live in, obviously. He's doing well, but I just feel like he's so out of touch with reality and the rest of the world. And then he started going on his COVID rants and stuff and the vaccines. And I was just like, all right, at that point, I just turned it off because I just didn't want to hear him. There are two things now where I'm not interested. There are two things that he talks about now. COVID. I don't want to hear his thoughts on COVID. And when he starts fucking talking about animals on his podcast, you just cash in. You just get the fuck out. Like there's no reason to stay and listen anymore.
You have to explain this to me. I have not heard Rogan in quite a while, so I need to know animals. Like what's the
when he starts just talking about wolves or bears.
Okay, no, I bailed out of that a long time ago.
Yeah. It's time to bail. Just trust me. You, sir, if you are the person sitting across the table from him, you are boring him. So he's just going to go, he's going to start talking about wolves or, I read this book once about eagles. Like, I don't fucking care what book you read about eagles. So
what you're saying is if you're a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience and at some point in the show, he just goes off talking about eagles or bears or wolves or something. You should probably just get up and leave.
I would.
Because your part is done here.
I have nothing to contribute to that conversation. Yeah, wolves are scary, Joe. I know. The other 1,000 episodes I heard you talk about wolves, that you've convinced me they're scary. Eagles are about to become extinct. Cool, got it. Bears, wow. Bears eat berries. Got it. What else? What else are we talking about? But yeah, they were just talking about podcasts, and I'm always fascinated by look. As a guy who does a podcast with you, I'm curious as to how much money these guys are making really off podcasting. And I sent you that clip. I think I did. Someone put together a YouTube video of all of these guys talking about their sponsors. And it's got that like "Show Me the Money" song behind it or whatever, that song from the 90s. And it was funny, but somewhat true. Like, do you really think that...
You didn't send that to me, so I'm not sure.
I didn't? Oh, shit. I need to send that to you. But I think we even talked about it on a previous episode where it's like, do they really like podcasting that much? Or are they just cashing in? Is it a cash grab? You know?
Well, we talked about that with like Tom Segura because he just started like a solo one too, I think, right? And that's like his fifth one.
Well,
we talked about like sharing the sponsorship and all that. And because I remember I mentioned like, do you really need that many podcasts? Or are you just cashing in for sponsorship? And if so, why don't you just like double up on the sponsorship money from you know what I mean? Like double up from MeUndies on the one show versus having 8 of them and having that same sponsor.
I'm glad you brought that up. So do you really think that Tom Segura wears MeUndies?
I don't know. They are pretty comfortable.
Oh, so you've been tricked into buying them? Is what you're
Actually,
saying?
I bought them for my wife at one point. Now, that does not mean that I wear them. That
How do
means
you
that I
know
have
they're
felt
comfortable? Do
them.
you wear your
That
wife's
means that I
panties?
have
But
felt
hold
them.
on. No.
Shut up.
You're
Don't
not
even.
going to get a pass. No,
Don't take
bullshit.
this in a different direction. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't
You
do
said
this.
it.
I know what I did. I know
Okay.
what I did.
As long as you know.
What I meant is I've felt the material and it is extremely comfortable material. I have not felt them on my body. Is this done now? Are we done?
Never a dull moment with you.
Did I fight it? Did I fight it good enough?
I don't know. That's cool. Okay, fine. So did you learn about MeUndies because of a podcast?
I did. Yes.
Which one?
Whichever one of the 800 that took on MeUndies as a sponsor at the same time when they first took them on.
Yeah. To answer your question about the doubling up, I think it depends on what the sponsor wants. I think the sponsor sees it as a new opportunity to get like new people interested in their product.
True.
Because somehow Tom Segura has convinced MeUndies that having a solo podcast where he doesn't talk about mentally challenged people on the internet is somehow going to bring in new people. I don't know. I'm fascinated by it.
Do you have any extra extra respect, I guess, for a podcaster who doesn't care how they promote a sponsor and is willing to lose a sponsor just try to make ads funny?
Like Bill Burr.
Yes, that was gonna be my example. I know Bill Burr has
his
lost
Sherry's
several
Berries reads are entertaining. Yeah.
Because he has lost several sponsors because of just not caring. He just wanted to make ads funny.
Was it that, or is someone else his salesman and they're the one getting these people on, and he truly is just so out of touch with his own reality that he doesn't really know what they are. And then once he starts reading, he goes, what the fuck am I talking about?
Maybe.
Again, that's another guy who's really out of touch with actual reality. Yeah. He has his bubble of, but that's fine.
Why do they, I mean, they're doing fine. So why do they need to be in touch with our reality, I guess? As long as they have
why do they need to be in touch with the rest of the world? I mean, I think it's a little bit unhealthy to think that everyone else has $100 million in the bank and they have a 32 car garage to put their cars in, and they have plenty of food stockpiled. When the shit hits the fan with this pandemic, not everyone has a fucking Olympic pool sized deep freezer in their fucking garage full of elk that they can live off of when everyone turns to zombies. I mean, it's a little bit unhealthy to think that way. People do have to work for a living.
You sound like a bitter Mark Maron to me.
I'm glad you picked up on that. Mark Maron is allowed to joke about these things. The question is, am I allowed to joke? Obviously, I'm not being serious, right? You know that, right?
Yeah.
Do people listening to me right now, do they know I'm not being serious?
I would hope
so. But also, because I don't earn my living as a stand-up comedian, do I get to joke about these things? Or am I just a hater? Or am I a troll? Or a loser?
You're not a troll. Like, what do you... Give me your definition of what a troll actually is. Because you actually have to be not fighting's not the word. I think of a troll as like an internet troll, somebody who's going into comment sections and leaving stupid comments and things like that, right? So I don't consider you a troll because you're not doing that. Hater, yeah, probably. But hater in a fun way, if that makes sense.
You don't find me to be the tad bit realistic? Maybe I'm just thinking about things logistically and rationally.
But if that's the case, then you wouldn't be a hater, I don't guess.
I'm a
hater.
That's why I say I'd like to call myself a rational hater. How about that?
Okay, I was gonna say hater in a realistic way. So yeah, I guess that's the same thing. A rational hater. I like it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, speaking of trolls and haters, I don't consider myself a troll. I've never left a comment on anything ever, anywhere, unless one of my friends posts something on Instagram and it's an accomplishment, or it's hey, just had a baby, or my kid turned 1, or whatever. Friend, actual friend in real life outside of social media, then I'll leave like, oh, congratulations with some sort of emoji, or hey, whatever, like inimical, like Joel just posted whatever it was from their shows at the Viper Room, the show at the Viper Room. I just commented with fire underneath it. You know, that's what I'll do. Nothing hateful or distasteful or anything like that. So I don't consider myself to be a troll in that way, but there are. So I feel like I can say this. I'm disgusted by the amount of fat, lazy pieces of shit in this country giving Simone Biles shit online.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting.
And it's funny they said, I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if I reposted it on Instagram, maybe it was just Facebook, but it basically said the amount of people who are calling Simone Biles a quitter. I've seen you quit keto 14 times, so shut your mouth. And it's legit. Like that's exactly what this is. This is armchair Olympicing, trying to call people like, yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right. It is. And but the lack of self-awareness some of these people have when you go onto Twitter or you go onto Facebook and you leave a comment like that, do you think no one's going to click on your profile photo, your about section, and really see who you fucking are? And most of these people, I don't think they do. I think they just go, I'll get away with this, and no one's going to call me out. Right. Just the lack of self-awareness on but I guess that's what the internet is, and that's what trolls are.
But I don't know if that's what it is. I think people want that. Like they're being a troll on purpose. They're saying these comments on purpose, hoping for the battle, hoping somebody does call them out. They want that. That's what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Makes them feel like somebody.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. I wish they were less predictable. How about that?
Okay. I'll give you that.
Because, I mean, I only looked at 2, and both people, and it was gross shit what they said. And both people I could just tell were like gun-toting, I hate using the word, Republicans. I could just tell. I could tell everything about them just screamed, I don't like black people. That it just did. It just did. And let's talk about it for what it really is to those people. Like, these people just need to be honest. They don't give a fuck about the Olympics. They certainly don't give a fuck about gymnastics. They didn't like the fact that a young black girl made a decision for herself and didn't fucking walk around and stomp to their marching orders. They didn't like it. I guarantee you, and I know we've had this conversation on this podcast before, and I know we toe the line on it. And we bring it up just let me, like, you know, we're subtle. Let me not be subtle right now. If she were a white gymnast, no one would fucking care. No one would have said a goddamn word. And I fully 100% within my heart believe that.
I mean, it's a bold statement.
And I'm not saying it to be controversial. It's just what I believe. It's just what I believe.
So taking color out of it, do you look at it being a bigger picture deal as people look at it like, well, maybe she's giving up on the country because she's representing the country?
Those people need to stop. Yeah, I get it. She has USA somewhere on her body. I get it. She's there for herself. She's there for herself. People need to stop with that shit. It's not 1980 anymore.
If you think somebody would put in the time and the work over an ungodly amount of years to get to where she's at just to give up, it's not like she's wanting to do that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
And the people who are belittling that are ridiculous.
Look, man. Those people, to the people that are saying the gross shit and saying that she needs to do it for her country, you got to stop. I understand that we as a nation go and represent the nation at the Olympics, but let's get fucking real. It's 2021. Those people are individuals who are trying to make their lives better by winning a gold medal. She wins a gold medal, it changes her life, right? Mm-hmm. It does. The fucking 17-year-old from Alaska that won the freestyle in swimming, you know, let me explain this. That doesn't help the United States of America. That helps that girl. That girl had to, they only have one Olympic-sized swimming pool in the entire state of Alaska. One.
That's crazy.
One. And this girl's 17, made it to the Olympics, went all the way to Tokyo and won a gold medal. If you think while she was in that goddamn pool and she was swimming, she was like, I'm doing it for America, you're crazy. She was doing it for her. That doesn't make her selfish. She has a job to do. Her job is to go fucking swim faster than everybody else and win a goddamn medal. That's it.
Yeah.
So we got to get past that, man. Like the Olympic basketball team, the men's team, which right now we can get into this later, but do you think those guys are there for the United States? Those guys are there to prove that they're the best in the world. And by God, they're having a hard time proving that right now. So yeah, I say no. I think we need to get over that. We need to move past that. She has a legitimate reason. She, and within her own brain, didn't feel like she could perform to her best. And she's doing a dangerous sport. I don't think she wants to fall on her fucking neck and break her neck and not be able to walk the rest of her life. But I did hear. Go ahead.
I heard that she had, I guess what they call twisties or the twisties or something like that, which I'm assuming, I would have to Google it and look it up, but I'm assuming it's more like a vertigo type of thing, I would think, judging by the name.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up.
You see what they do in the air. I mean, it would make sense.
So she, prior to going to Tokyo, was on ADHD medication. She revealed this the last Olympics. She takes ADHD medication. That stuff's illegal in Japan, so she could not take it.
Okay.
I can only imagine what that did to her fucking brain. I can only imagine. I think it has a lot to do with what we're seeing right now. Lack of focus, anxiety, whatever. That medication helps her with that. So the fact that she couldn't take it, I think it has a lot to do with her mental health, her mental stability.
I mean, you would think there would be regulations involved as far as like if you're a country who is going to host the Olympics, that stuff like that would be able to be, I guess, looked away from.
Yeah, there are Olympic regulations when it comes to that stuff. Far less strict than the actual country of Japan. It's illegal in Japan. And I would have to look it up. Crazy. I think she's on Ritalin. I don't know if it's a different version of Ritalin that she's on for ADHD. But dude, when you get off that stuff, it's not like, okay, I'm done. I'm off. I feel fine. Like it takes a while for your brain to adjust not having that shit pumped into your fucking system.
Right.
So I think it has a lot to do with where she's at. And I really don't like how it's not a bigger part of the story. It's just the mental health aspect that's the story. That's the narrative we're going with. Well, okay, there are things that are contributing to her mental health, such as her medication. No one's talking about it.
Yeah, but if you make that a bigger story, then it makes, I don't want to say it makes it look bad, but it looks worse upon her because she does have a mental, I don't know what, I don't want to use a word that
chemical dependency on those things to help her. Yeah. You know who that hurts? Well, yeah. The pharmaceutical companies. They certainly don't want an Olympic-sized viewership knowing that their drugs have impacted the greatest gymnast of all time. They don't want that. That's not a good endorsement for their product.
Yeah. But that, I mean, that makes sense, but that wasn't even what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about, it looks like we have a representative of our country who has not mental problems, but you know what I'm saying? Like an issue to where she has to take medication for it. You know, I don't want to make that to sound, I don't want that to sound insulting by any means.
Yeah. What's worse, knowing that or knowing that she just has mental health issues? To me, I think they go hand in hand. And it's good to talk about mental health.
It is, absolutely.
And it's good that she did, but I don't consider it. I've heard the word brave used. I wouldn't call it brave as much as it's a necessity. for her to talk about her mental health and admit that mentally she couldn't get the job done. I don't think it makes her a coward, but I don't think it makes her brave. I think it's just a necessary thing. I think it's a necessary thing that we all need to embrace, that mental health is a big issue. We need to stop looking at it like it's this thing that makes us a certain kind of way, whether it be a coward, whether it be brave, whether it be anything. It just is a thing that we need to accept. It's happening. It's real. It's real within all of us.
It's not like we're choosing for it to happen to us and then having to be dependent on a drug or whatever. It's not like we want to be dependent on that, but it's something that you're basically on for the rest of your life, just because that's what helps you live.
Yeah. And she might not even have come to the realization that her mental health stability was dependent upon something that she was taking for her ADHD. That might not even be a thing that she understands yet. Maybe. I'm certainly not going to crucify her for it.
Right. And I understand that, but that's definitely, to me, a doctor issue. I mean, a doctor needs to be,
of course,
involved in that. And I mean, maybe she did know. Maybe they told her ahead of this, listen, this could be an issue that you are going to have to come off of your medication because of this. And they maybe didn't know.
Yeah.
So I wonder though, like maybe that was part of all of this, and maybe leading up to her travel, maybe she came off of it to see how it would work for her. I wonder if that was involved at all.
Yeah, I'm sure she had to. I mean, if it's not allowed in the country, then yeah, at some point she would have to cycle off of it and then can't take it into the country.
I don't know what cycling off of an ADHD medication looks like, though. I don't know if that's a thing.
If you're dependent upon it, I'm sure it's not easy. And I use the term cycling off because I guess that's the term used when you have to get off of medication,
right,
off of a drug. I don't know. I don't take anything like that. It's been recommended that I do, but I can't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's and and when I'm calling her not brave, I'm not saying it in an insulting way. I just mean that I think what she did is necessary. Period.
Yeah.
Call it brave, fine. I don't want to call it. I guess what I'm saying is every time someone speaks out on mental health, I think we got to stop calling them brave and just start calling it for what it is. It's a part of them. It's a part of all of us, right?
Yeah,
it's not this weird thing, right? It shouldn't be this weird thing. It should be normal. No, I guess
it's just hard to find the wording to match the feeling with that, right? Like it's hard to find something that doesn't sound insulting to somebody.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be. I'm 100% on her side on this. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Period. And if you don't feel like you can, don't.
Right.
Now,
so are you? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, now, am I a hypocrite in some way? So let's say this is let me just go ahead and knock on wood. Now, let's say it's the Super Bowl this year and the Browns are in the Super Bowl, and the week leading up to the Super Bowl, Baker Mayfield says, I can't play. I have mental health issues. Now, am I going to be upset at first? Yes. Am I going to go online and crucify him? Absolutely not. But I will question, all right, what's going on? But no, I'm not going to go online and crucify him. I'm not going to call him a coward. I'm not going to call him brave. I'm not going to call him anything. I'm going to let him figure his shit out. Yeah, it's going to upset me a little bit as a Browns fan, of course. So I want her and her family and her people and everyone rooting for her to understand that in sports, people are going to be upset when someone can't get the job done. It's a natural thing. But she definitely deserves the time to get better and feel like and do what she needs to do. Period.
Right.
I don't know if I made the connection. I think I did. I don't know. My brain's going 100 miles per hour right now. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I was just actually going to change direction a little bit and just ask, are you an avid Olympic watcher, or just certain sports in Olympics, or just kind of catch it when you can?
Yeah, I mean, I like to watch. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's something that I don't really, I mean, I'll watch it. If it's on, I'll watch it. I don't like make it a point like I know synchronized diving's on right now. Let me go ahead and stop what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I definitely wanted to watch her because she's incredible.
Yeah.
Definitely interested in the men's basketball team. Sorry, women. Um,
Okay? Didn't women win like the 3-on-3?
what? There's 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics.
Yeah, and it's half court.
Well, why would it? How are you gonna play full
I
court?
think I guess it's a new thing. I don't know. You have to Google this. Make sure that I'm not crazy.
I did not know. I did not know that that was a thing.
I want to say women won gold.
So you're telling me there's 3-on-3 Olympic basketball?
Yes, look it up right now.
Yep, there is.
Okay, good. Say I need to not be crazy.
You're not crazy. The U.S. will likely medal in 3-on-3 basketball. This was 5 days ago. U.S. men fail to qualify for Olympic 3-on-3 basketball. U.S. women qualify. So you mean to tell? Never mind. I don't even. You know what? Okay, so I think I just answered your question. I guess I don't watch the Olympics as much as I'd say I do. I'm interested in the men's basketball team.
What do you think about LeBron not being on the Olympic team?
Don't give a fuck. Don't care.
They say it's injuries, but also the rumor is that he knew that the team wasn't going to be great and he didn't want to be a part of it. Could be rumor. Who knows? I'm just curious.
People starting those rumors are morons. He doesn't think a team with Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard and himself is going to be a good team. Who started that rumor? Let me guess. Was it Stephen A. Smith? I'm sure that's something he would say. Maybe he just didn't want to go to Tokyo. Has anyone ever thought about that? Maybe he just wants to take a goddamn break. Why does he have to? He doesn't have to go if he doesn't want to go. The team will be fine without LeBron. Maybe. They don't look that great.
Maybe we haven't.
I don't understand. I don't understand how they lost to France. I don't know what I was looking at. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I understand that the loss to Nigeria was an exhibition leading up to the Olympics, but I'm pretty sure that of the Nigerian players that are in the NBA, none of them were on the court in that game. So they lost to like the Nigerian B team, which is preposterous. I don't even know how that happens. I don't know. It's weird to me that, let me ask you this. So I've heard this conversation. If they do not medal, is it fair to call the NBA to no longer call the NBA champion world champions? Is it fair? Because the NBA players that went over didn't win a gold medal.
Okay, this is going to sound weird. I've never thought of it that way. Is that why? Wait, hang on. Okay, ask me that question one more time.
So, like the Milwaukee Bucks are called world champions, right?
Okay.
But should we be calling the NBA champion, whoever it is, moving forward, the world champions, if we couldn't go over to Tokyo and win a gold in basketball?
Okay, so my question is, why is it world champions anyways? Just because of the Olympics?
No, because the best players in the world want to play in the NBA. I mean, the NBA is the ultimate stopping point for any player who is worth their shit. So that's why they're world champions. It's a collection of all the best players in the world won that given year. My argument is, can you really be called world champions if you can't beat France? I don't know. Probably so. It's probably going to be okay. But I mean,
that doesn't change the fact of what the NBA is, though. As you said, a collection of all the best players in the world, playing against each other, and you still have that one team who beat everyone else and won. So so in that collective, they're still, I guess, considered world champions. So I don't really think the Olympics has anything to do with that.
Here's what I'm saying. I guess here's what I'm saying. A team with Kevin Durant and 4 me's on the court should beat France. Okay. He needs to step up. He needs to be a leader. He needs to lead the team to a gold medal. It's unacceptable for any team with Kevin Durant to lose to anyone in the Olympics. Okay. Then on top of that, you give him Damian Lillard and Devin Booker. No, that team should never lose to anyone. Okay. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. Dude, if they don't win the gold, I will be beside myself. I don't understand.
I just wonder if it's a mix. If it's a mixture of the team, like the people.
Yeah, people have said that it's team chemistry. The team hasn't been playing together. They're fuck that. You have a team with Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard. Okay.
Yeah.
I
get it.
Pull 3 women from the women's Olympic soccer team and put them on the court with those 2 dudes. You still shouldn't lose. Period. You shouldn't. Not to France. Not to France. I'll give you a pass if you're playing Luka. I'll give you a pass if you're like, no, not to France. So, I mean, they've won their
the Nigerian B team either.
The what?
Not the Nigerian B team either.
I don't know, man. That was bizarre. No disrespect to Nigeria, but Jesus. What was I going to say? Oh, so I mean, they've won their last 2. They destroyed Iran. They destroyed Czechoslovakia. So they're going to get into the medal rounds. We'll see. But that team should never lose to anyone. It's. I don't know. What do you do if they don't win the gold? So I mean, what is that going to look like for these guys? And that's what I'm saying too.
When was the last time we didn't win gold?
Didn't win gold? I don't know.
It's been quite a while, right?
It's been a while. Well, 2004.
If you were from another country playing in the NBA and Olympics come around and you're given a position to play for your home country team.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Are there players that are given the option for both to play for the USA team and play for their home team, and they kind of have to make a choice?
I believe that's the way it works. Yes. So I remember. Well, I don't know. I think that's worth a Google, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. Like Bam Adebayo is on the US team. He's from Nigeria. He's Nigerian, so he could play on the Nigerian team. Okay. Now, why he didn't choose to do so, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that looks like. Like, I'm wondering if your home country looks down upon that.
I don't know, man. It's interesting you bring that up too. I think you have a choice. I think you can claim, because when I was watching the Euros, there was a guy on Scotland that chose last minute to play for Scotland, but he's not from Scotland. It was a big deal because there are very few in the history of their national team. There's been very few men of color to play for their team. So this was like a huge deal to many people, probably because Scotland's likely one of the more racist countries in the entire world, but we wouldn't need to go down that rabbit hole. But
there goes all our Scottish listeners.
So yeah. So it was a big deal. And I like I said, that guy had a choice, and he made the choice to play for Scotland. I don't know. Okay. It's interesting. So you're saying would I? Yeah, I would. I would play for my country, not the U.S. Sorry, America. I'm sure that offends everyone. I'm sure I'm a traitorous coward like Simone Biles, but fuck off. I'm gonna play for my country. But if it's a matter, or so you saying you're not from the country, you didn't grow up in the country, but you have good enough reason to sort of to present the idea that you could play for them, meaning if my dad's from Portugal, do I want to go play for Portugal? Is that what you're asking?
No,
or is that all semantics?
You answered my question already. I was just curious as far as if you're from Nigeria, do you have the option to play for Nigeria in the Olympics, or do you have a option to play for the US, or is it both? Do you get to choose which one you want? How does that work?
I think the option's up to you, to be honest. And
I was wondering how people look at that.
Yeah.
Like if you are from Nigeria and you decide I'm going to play for the US team instead, does Nigeria get pissed about that?
I'm sure some people do. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just curious.
I guess, how much national pride do you think Nigeria has? Do you think there are people with trucks with the flag on the back in Nigeria?
I don't know.
You don't know how to answer that question, do you?
I don't. It feels like it's going down a road that I don't really want to go down.
you got to stop being scared of these roads, man. I don't know, man. But look, at the end of the day, that the U.S. team should not be losing in the Olympics, period.
Okay.
So I don't care about team chemistry. I don't care about preparation. I don't care about any of that. So we'll see. You did text me about synchronized diving the other day. And you're like, dude, have you ever seen this? And I know I gave you like a snarky response, like, yeah, I've been on Earth for a while. I think I've seen it. I think I know what it is. I don't watch it. You were amazed by it? Is that what's going on?
This is new to me, dude. That stuff is maybe the most impressive Olympic sport.
Synchronized diving is the most impressive sport to you?
To jump off of a diving board and do flips and twists and everything else exactly the same as somebody else at the exact same time, to hit the water at the exact same time, that's ridiculous.
So Simone Biles jumping off the floor without a trampoline, without a diving board, doing the same twists and flips, that doesn't impress you more? Using nothing but her body strength to do that? She doesn't have a board to help her.
That's insanely impressive. However, what if you had to put another person right next to her doing the exact same thing?
Fucking do it. Fucking do it. Why did we just create a new sport? Is that done in gymnastics? I have no idea.
I don't know. Probably. We're probably morons.
Yeah.
This is probably a thing already.
I agree. So here's an important question. Are you going to watch the Gold Cup tonight?
I had not put any thought into it, to be honest.
Do you even know what it is?
No.
Okay. It's a soccer tournament.
That's what I was assuming.
CONCACAF, actually.
A what? One more time.
CONCACAF.
CONCACAF. What does that mean?
It's the governing body that puts this tournament together. You know, there's like FIFA, there's CONCACAF. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the U.S. is in the final. They're playing Mexico tonight. It's been an interesting run because basically the team is made up of, I think it's one of the youngest teams they've had in the history of the Gold Cup to actually like do this well. Everyone's young, like everyone's under the age of 25, with the exception of a few guys. So they played Qatar on Thursday. They beat them, so now they're in the final against Mexico. Going to be a big deal if they beat Mexico. Historically and traditionally, the U.S. does not play Mexico well in these finals. They did just win the Nations League final, or whatever it's called, a few weeks ago, but different story, different animal. They had all of their best players, so they're going to have to do it tonight with, you know, this younger sort of. Anyway, I'll be watching. I knew you weren't going to watch and didn't know what I was talking about. So anyway,
now, you said a lot of words that I've never heard before in my life.
What words have you not heard? You know what soccer is, for fuck's sake? You know what the U.S. is? Do you know what Mexico is? I said enough. Come on.
What was the word?
CONCACAF.
CONCACAF? Is that a K or a C?
I'm probably saying it wrong. It's with a C. It's C.
Okay.
CONCACAF. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I feel incredibly stupid. Anyway, I believe white people call it CONCACAF. CONCACAF. Okay. CONCACAF. It sounds better when I say it like that. Or do I sound like Sean Connery? CONCACAF. Maybe a little bit.
Actually, I like it better that way. Do the Sean Connery way from now on.
CONCACAF. So yeah, it's on at 7:30. You should watch it.
Okay.
It's a big deal. Okay.
Okay.
And well, look, here's why it's a big deal. I'll say one more thing. I know we're boring people with soccer, but if they win, it really looks good going into World Cup qualifying. Because as you know, they did not qualify for the last World Cup, which is insane. So anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
You didn't like the video that I sent you of Coi Leray performing at Rolling Loud, huh?
I've never heard that name before.
Well, I knew you didn't know who she was, but I wanted you to see exactly what everyone's talking about. So, do you know what Rolling Loud is?
I've heard of it before. Is this?
Okay.
I mean, it's a huge festival, I'm sure.
Huge festival, huge all hip hop festival.
And it's where?
Miami.
Okay.
That's why there were so many people, and it was I believe, yeah, it's Miami. Yeah. But it's been people. The festival, I should say, not so much, but just the people that performed at the festival. It's been getting a lot of shit online because the performances were not so great, and the one that I sent you, she's getting it bad. It's interesting to me. Say it again.
Did Pitbull headline?
No, I believe.
Oh wow,
was that a real question?
It's Miami.
So what? It's Pitbull.
I know.
What is Pitbull, by the way? Is he a rapper, a dancer, a singer? What is he?
I don't know. Probably all of the above. I don't know what's his genre considered.
I don't know. Well, pop music?
Is it pop?
He's a pop star for sure.
Yeah. Huh.
Anytime you land Bud Light commercials, you are a pop star. They don't give those to anybody. They give those to the biggest stars on earth.
Tell me Jay-Z's not going to be a Bud Light promoter?
I don't think so. No.
No? Okay.
I don't think so. But I also think Pitbull probably drinks. Do you think he drinks Bud Light?
No.
No?
Probably Land Shark.
Whoa. What? Why Land Shark?
I don't know, because it's a Mexican beer.
No, it's not.
It's not? Land Shark's not?
No. Jimmy Buffett created Land Shark.
Oh, Dos Equis. That's Mexican beer, right?
Oh my good God almighty. Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Holy shit. Anyway, so the festival, people are really giving these artists shit. And like I said, the one that I sent you, she's getting it probably worse than anyone. The thing that I found interesting is just how bad the sound was. And it brings up the discussion. Have you ever been to a hip hop show? Whether it be someone popular or someone local?
I don't think so. Maybe a couple of local guys that are like hip hop esque, but not anything major.
Still had like a band behind them. They weren't really relying on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. So there is a difference. There's a difference in that if you are seeing someone who does not have a live band behind them, it's really, really difficult. I think they have a tough job of getting people in the moment and into the music that way.
Okay.
I don't think it's the same as a band who's really relying on themselves to play things correctly, to really play things well, to like bring that energy. I just think it's a different thing. I don't think it's any harder or any less difficult than a band. I just think they're two different things. But I think for that so Coi Leray, the girl that I sent the video, I she was trying her best to really get people into the moment. I just think the sound was terrible. It was like we were watching karaoke.
I mean, how in a massive festival like that, is it a lot harder to get the sound to sound good anyways?
It should hit. It should slap. That did not slap, dude. That was weird. Okay. What I was watching was weird. So I can only imagine. I would love to know what it felt like on stage for her. It felt like on stage, it was like that. And if I heard that on stage, I'll be like, what in the fuck are y'all doing to me? Please give me something more.
It just seems to me, and this is coming from a dumb person who doesn't know anything, like not a musician or anything, but it seems to me like it'd be easier to figure out the acoustics and the sound inside of a building versus like outside where the sound just goes out and up and everywhere versus being contained into a building. Does that make any sense?
A little bit, but I mean, these people are professionals. This is what they get paid to do, is make these artists sound good. So I don't know. I don't think that's a good excuse.
Okay.
The location. But maybe, yeah, make sure
festivals all the time. I'm not saying I'm just trying to compare inside to outside, that it seems like outside would be a lot harder to control the sound of, but Like I said, they do massive festivals all over the place all the time. So
yeah, well, look, it's up to the bad sound or not. It's up to the artist to reel it in and get people interested. And she just was having a tough time. I felt bad.
Was she at the beginning of this festival? Do we know like where her?
I think it was earlier in the day. Yes, so that has a little bit to do with it as well. But people go to that festival to party. They go to hear songs that they know, and they go to party. Like Kodak Black was on it, Jack Harlow was on it, the Baby was on it. So I mean, it was all people. It shouldn't have been. But that festival, historically speaking, and I don't know how long it's been around. I know it's been a few years, but I remember watching a video of Sheck Wes, and I'm sure you don't know who that is, but watching a video of Sheck Wes perform Mo Bamba. You know what that is?
No.
I'm gonna play it for you in a second here. But I remember watching him from that festival performing this song. So that's probably 2019, did that song come out then? 2018 or 2019. But the fucking crowd was lit. Everyone was going crazy. But I remember watching it going, God, this sound sucks. So he was lucky that like that song was hot at the moment and everybody just wanted to fucking rage to it, you know? But I just remember thinking like, God, the fucking sound is terrible. And I think, honestly, I think he knew it and he just said, fuck it. And he just said, I'm going to do whatever I can to get these people in the moment.
Well, that's also coming from
No, that doesn't matter, man.
Right. I understand that even if you're not a musician, you can tell when the music sounds bad. But when you're in like a massive place like that and it's a song that is hot, like if Nelly were to walk out and sing Hot in Here, if the sound's a little off, is anybody going to care? If you're
Where is he at? Is he in St. Louis or is he somewhere else?
St. Louis.
I don't think anyone's going to care.
Exactly. So that's my point.
But it's noticeable, man. You don't have to be a musician to know that something's off. Okay, yeah. We're talking about volume. We're talking about feeling. Does the bass, and this is specific to hip hop, but do I feel it? Does it hit me in the chest? You know, if you don't feel it, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Regardless of the song, regardless of the artist. Now, some people can pull through, like this guy that I'm talking about, but you know, I think people's biggest gripes about this festival this year were that people just didn't make it interesting. I watched Jack Harlow a little bit and I was bored. Gotcha. And I think the crowd at times were a little bit bored. I'm not saying that to be disrespectful to him. I just think it was a moment thing. I think it had a lot to do with the sound. I think it just was a moment thing. Sometimes you're in the moment, sometimes you're not. I don't know.
If you got sound, and especially earlier in the day, people aren't invested in it already, that just kind of probably rolls through the rest of the day until somebody comes out and has great sound and just catches the crowd.
Yeah. I think as a performer, though, I think those guys, if they don't have a live band behind them, they have a difficult job of they have to perform. They do. I remember I saw Kid Cudi. It's one of my favorite shows ever, but I saw him. It was just him and a drummer. So the drummer was playing along to the tracks.
Where'd you see him at?
I saw him in Champaign, Illinois, at the University of Illinois.
Oh, okay.
It was a dry show.
Nice.
Yeah. But it was great. And I remember thinking when he came out, I was like, oh shit. And he had who opened? I can't remember who opened, but whoever opened, you know, it was the reception was sort of, you know, it was 50-50. But it was just him and the beats, the samples, the sound, whatever you want to call it. And then when Kid Cudi came out, I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's got a DJ and a drummer. He didn't have anything else, you know, no live guitarist, but he killed it. It was one of my favorite, but he's one of my favorite artists. It'd be hard for me not to enjoy him. You know, versus when I saw Jay-Z had tracks and he had a DJ, no live band, still great, you know. So it's just a moment thing. But I think as a performer, if you don't have that live band feeling, you know, and the sound sucks, like I think it did at this festival, I think you have a tough job. I don't know. I've always had.
Is that normal for Kid Cudi? Just a drummer and him?
I don't know. That's the only time I've seen him. I saw clips of him at Lollapalooza. I think he had a full band, if I remember correctly. I think it depends on the show and which songs he's doing live. And so I don't know. I'd love to see him again if he ever, he's not going to come to St. Louis, that I know. So I don't have to go somewhere else again to see him.
Based off of that latest album, it seems like it would be hard. I mean, I guess I'd have to listen to it through again, but it seems like it'd be hard to just be him and a drummer.
I don't know. I think it depends on the drummer. How creative can you get, you know?
Yeah.
I would love to see it that way off that new album. I would love to see him do that stuff live like that in that setting.
Yeah. I haven't listened to a whole lot of his other stuff. You're the one that turned me on to the newest album that I listened to. It's got like that spacey, almost like euphoric feel to a lot of the songs.
That's most of his stuff.
That's most of his stuff. Okay.
Most of his stuff, yeah.
I need to go back and hear it then. I like that album a lot.
Well, Man on the Moon 1 and 2 you need to listen to, because those were the inspiration for that record.
Gotcha.
The first record, I sound like such a fucking old head when I say this. I love the old stuff better, but that first record really did. I mean, it's in my top 5. It just, something about it just struck a chord in me, did something to me, man. I mean, I wore that fucking thing out, and it, like, emotionally speaking, just did so much for me at that time of my life. So yeah, Kid Cudi holds a special place in my heart. He's put out some stuff that I haven't liked so much. There have been, but he's got 2 of my favorite albums of all time, and this last one he put out is up there. Did I talk about when I saw 36 Crazy Fist at Pops the night the Cardinals won the World Series?
Yep.
Okay. Like, I just still to this day remember everything about that moment, like everything about it. Like, I remember people that were there that I no longer speak to. I remember just everything.
Didn't you say they actually waited to go on or something because everybody was watching the Cardinals game?
Yep. But not like they were pissed off about it. They were like, you know what, out of respect, I think this city's team is about to win the World Series. Why don't we just wait?
Didn't you say they came out wearing Cardinals gear too?
No. No, I don't think so. Did I say that? No.
I don't, maybe not.
They weren't. I think maybe one of the guys might have had on a hat.
Okay.
Maybe, but no. No.
So we talked about you going to shows and watching a band that you had like maybe an opener band that you didn't really know before that kind of was a lot better than you expected, or you didn't really know them and they really made you like them. Do you have any that was like an opener or something that you weren't expecting to be very good and just blew your mind?
Well, first off, I don't walk into any show expecting any band to not be very good. Don't make me out to be that person.
I
get what you're asking me, though.
I don't know.
I get what you're asking me, though. Let me think about that. So bands that, they're a couple for sure. So, man, really challenging me here. I'm trying to think of like recently or semi-recently.
Or just a band that you knew was on the bill that you weren't really that interested in before, but then you seen their live performance and you were like, holy shit.
Yeah. There's been several times. I mean, the band Islander, I knew who they were, hadn't really listened to them, knew one song, and then saw them at a festival, and I immediately became a fan for sure.
Which I did tell you they're coming to Pops, right?
Yeah. Another one. I mean, there are tons. He Is Legend is a band that I knew of. Everybody talked about him. Wasn't really sure, and then saw him live and was just sold immediately. There are tons of bands, tons of artists that's happened, but right now I'm just drawing total blanks on it. Oh, I mean, I wasn't a Yellow Wolf fan, if you want someone more specific at all. And I really, really actually couldn't stand his old music. And then he came out with that rock stuff. And I know like the Point here was playing it. And I think it was a Point show that he played, that he headlined. I was like, okay, I like this. That's cool. Wasn't like, not like a diehard fan now, but I was like, that stuff's cool.
I see him on side stage at Point Fest. And I mean, it was an okay show, but, and I like Yellow Wolf, but I would I would like to see him in more like a pop setting or something like that. I bet I'd like that a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
the Point Fest, especially on a side stage, is odd anyways, because it's like that's just the band that's playing right now. So if you're in like a pop setting, they're there to see Yelawolf, versus if you're in, a side stage at Point Fest, that's just who's playing right now. So you have thousands of people that are around you, but not necessarily there to see them. They're just there to see who's there right now.
It's up to that band to put on a memorable performance.
For sure. I get it.
Some can do it, some can't. It's not easy to do. Festivals are weird like that. My favorite is Warped Tour. Like any band that's ever played Warped Tour early in the day, while a really popular band is playing, like, I don't know, fucking Rancid or fucking The Offspring or Sum 41 or whatever. They know that it's a very bizarre thing. Yeah. Especially by the front gate, where people just kind of, you see people coming in, you're like, shit, we're going to have a lot of people watching us, and they just walk on by. That's always fun. Had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's 120 degrees and we're playing on a black stage. Not hot.
And everybody's standing on blacktop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's up to the band to sell it. I'm trying to think. God, that question's really bothering me, because, like, for whatever reason, I can't think of like specific. Man, it has happened quite a bit at festivals, where I've been at a festival and it's been one of the bands non-headlining bands that I've seen, and I knew who it was, but I was like, oh shit, that's really cool. But again, I'm just drawing so many blanks.
Who else is on that Beartooth bill that's coming up here in a couple weeks?
Wage War, and I don't remember the other one. Which I like Wage War too. So
was Dragged Under on that?
Maybe.
Is it Dragged Under? Okay.
I don't. I'd have to look at the. I'm not sure. Wage War is Wage War is one of the bigger names on it.
I actually just recently found out who Wage War is because of Octane on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
But
what song are they playing on Octane of Wage War?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Interesting.
If you told me, do you know
Gravity?
That might be it.
Gravity or Low? Those are older songs, though. I'm surprised they're playing. Well, anyway, good for them. That's good. Was it Jose Mangin playing it?
Yes, absolutely.
It's the rock dude, Jose Mangin. Go and cook off. Dude.
Don't they have several people who run several different stations all the time on Sirius XM? Like Jose Mangin, that's not just his channel, right? He does other channels too. Or maybe he just fills in on other channels and stuff too.
I don't know.
Okay.
I try not to pay attention to that person.
If you were offered a radio show on Sirius XM right now, would you take it?
Do I get paid?
I mean, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? I gotta get paid.
I don't know. You've told all your horror stories and how you hated being on a radio show at one point. I mean, I guess this would be a different thing. This would be
totally different. I didn't hate being on a radio show. I enjoyed it for sure. I didn't enjoy talking about it.
I guess every time you told a story on here, you just told the bad things then.
Have I?
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, I enjoyed that for sure.
Okay.
But sports talk radio is weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing for to want to do, and then B, the people that listen to it, they're a specific kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
So no, I enjoyed it. I got into it. It was by chance anyway. That show had me on as a MMA person. Because at the time I was writing for a website and I was writing specifically about MMA. So the producer of the show went to college with me. and knew me from band stuff. So he actually just reached out to me and was like, hey, I'm producing for this show. Would you be interested in coming on? And I was like, okay. And I called in and talked to MMA for like 10 minutes. And then later on, they had me on again. And then after that, they're like, hey, so some things are changing. Do you want to just be on the show? I was like, maybe. And I ended up doing it for, however many months I was on it. So it was fine. No, if they offered me a show, yeah. I mean, if they paid me at the very least what I'm making now, sure. Let's do it.
I wonder what starting salary is like for a Sirius XM.
I'm sure it's not great. I'm sure I would have to go, oh, that's not enough. I'm sure. I'm quite sure that, yeah. I'm sure it's not great. Could be. Might be.
Could you do it solo? Would you need somebody?
I don't know. I mean, what is it? Just me like spinning, and it's not. I could say the word. Use the term spinning records. They don't even do that anymore. But is it just me spinning records and introducing the songs, or is it me like? Is there a theme? Am I talking about something?
I guess I don't know how all that works. Like as far as like if you're a solo person, running it at night or something like that, and you're putting the music on and you're talking in between. I don't know how all that works.
It can be pre-recorded. It can be live. It could be a multitude of things. I would imagine most people on Sirius, especially like on Octane, I think those guys are live, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't listen to it enough to know. I mean, I know my experiences and the people I know in terrestrial radio that's not Sirius from the stations here and some of the other stations I've interacted with in the past. I know how all that works.
I mean, I know, I don't know, but I assume pretty much all of it's live, like on the point, right?
I don't know if I should be talking about their business. I don't know if I'm the person that should do it, but I'm going to say no.
Oh, there's a lot of pre-recorded stuff, is what you're saying?
I'm not saying there's a lot, not saying there's a little, but I'm saying there's pre-recorded stuff. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's just cool to me that they can make it feel like it is live. But I guess it makes sense.
That's
because
the beauty of radio, man.
you're just talking in between. Yeah, I get it.
That's why that's why I still value markets like St. Louis that have rock stations like The Point and hip hop stations like we have here, because people still listen.
Yeah.
There's still value to your music being on a radio station like The Point. There's value if you're a local artist or any artist for that matter of your music being on 104.1, or 100.3. There's value. I know people don't think so anymore, but go to a Point Fest and tell me that people aren't hearing these bands. There are 20,000 people go. How many people go to Point Fest? 20,000? What's the number? It's close to 20,000, right? Over 20,000. Yeah. So they hear these bands on The Point, on the radio station. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as local goes, though, we don't have to dive deep into it, but it seems like it would be. I don't feel like a lot of local music is played on The Point anymore, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I should talk about that either. I had an experience with that recently.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll fucking talk about it. Fuck it. Our show's called Raised on the Goddamn Radio. We should be talking about this, for fuck's sake.
Well, the reason why I'm not going to name any names or anything, but there used to be a show on there that was all local music.
Is that not a thing anymore?
No, that went away quite a while ago.
So there's no local show on Sundays anymore?
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. So I recently discovered that there's a new person doing the local show, and the old person was replaced.
Oh.
But now you're saying that there's not even a local show, period.
Well, maybe that's what I'm mistaken. Because there was a local show that somebody was doing for a long time, and then I know that he left and isn't doing that anymore. So maybe he was replaced, and maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't want to give too much away here.
We'll have to figure this out.
The reason that I know this is because I reached out, because I, as you know, have released some new music. So I was like, sure, let's put it on the local show. If it, apparently it's difficult to do. I mean, I'll say this: if there's not a local show on our rock station here anymore, I think that's really sad. And I would join the protest to get it back if there was one. I'm not going to lead it. Maybe I should, but yeah, I think that's sad. There's a ton of great music coming out of this city, of all genres. And I think it needs to be heard. And some of the funnest times I ever had was, local show based shows. I've made lifelong memories from some of those. So yeah, man, that's really sad if that's the case. I'm gonna do some investigating here. I'm gonna find out. I didn't realize, by the way, and I was just thinking about this. Sorry to cut you off. That the Inimical show that we just went to was like an anniversary show for Beyond FM.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize that till after the fact. I saw someone post a video about it.
Yep.
So that's good. That I mean, there are things like that, but I think there should be more than just. I guess what I'm saying is there should be more than one. There should be multiple websites, multiple ways to hear a lot of this stuff, other than Spotify.
Are you're acting like you have ideas in your head?
I don't.
Oh.
Other than, I don't know. Well, let me say this: there should be multiple ways to do it. I don't feel like anyone should feel like they're competing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I started an online radio station and played St. Louis-based music, I certainly wouldn't want anyone else to feel like I'm trying to take listeners away from them.
Right.
I just see it as another option for more people to discover more artists from St. Louis, I guess.
Right.
The problem is I feel like there probably would be the idea that competition is happening, and how do you avoid that? I guess would be the biggest conundrum.
I mean, isn't that a common theme across St. Louis, the St. Louis music scene anyways? Has been for a long time.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is anymore. I haven't played a show in so goddamn long. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I've said before, I think I've said it anyway. I feel like there are plenty of people that thought I was competing with them and thought that I thought my shit didn't stink. And I believe me, it's just my social anxiety. Trust me. I any I'd never had such feelings. You could tell though, you could feel it in the air, and it's a shame, but I think it's inevitable in anything that you do where you're trying to, I don't know, at the end of the day, pitch a product. I guess you want it to be better than the other person's. You want people. So I don't know.
Well, it goes back to like the whole, a rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. You think that one band does good, that it helps the rest of the bands in the scene, but a lot of bands don't look at it that way. They think, well, they're getting theirs and I'm not getting mine.
Yeah, some people just can't avoid being jealous at other people's success. It's weird. It's weird. I obviously won't name names, but when Story of the Year took off, I just remember so many bands that previously liked Story of the Year that would kill to be on a Story of the Year show, would whatever. I just remember so many bands being like, "I fuck Story of the Year," and I just be like, "Why?
Really?
Why? I don't understand why. What? I don't understand. Just look at them and just like this." I was just like, okay, all right, whatever, dude. I can't talk to you about this. This is weird. This is a weird conversation.
Yeah.
But it existed. Or fuck the Urge, or just name anybody else. Name any other band that's been successful. Fuck Kavo. Like why? Why fuck? What are you talking about?
Right.
We need them to be successful, and then we need to be lucky enough to be on one of their shows, and them too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's. And from someone who's played with all three of those bands that I just named, and I didn't name them because I played with them. I was just thinking of bands from St. Louis that have been successful. Mm-hmm. You benefit from playing shows with them. So to be jealous of them and want to separate yourself in some way and think that you can do better. Okay, good luck. I don't know.
Yeah, if nothing else, you should be following the blueprint of what they're doing.
But not even follow, but at the very least, pay attention.
Yeah.
Be a student at the very least.
Right.
Yeah, you should. And, I remember specifically too, the moment when someone said that to me about Story of the Year. It was when they were on some MTV thing. It was like Live at Hard Rock, maybe. They'd have big artists on. I mean, Story of the Year did it, Sum 41, Hoobastank, like all the bands that were popular at that time. It was 2004, 2005, whatever it was. And it was on, I want to say, I was on at a bar. We were at a bar, day drinking, of all things. And I just remember a couple of the people just being like, oh, fuck Story of the Year. And I was just like, ugh, what's wrong with you? They're on MTV, motherfucker. What do you mean, fuck Story of the Year? What are you talking about? Because like, MTV was still
a band that we are very really close to. Like they're right down the road, and they're doing this, and we're gonna say fuck them.
Yeah.
Seriously, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, those people existed, man. But that happens everywhere, dude. It's like I said, it's inevitable that people get jealous and people, got to find a reason to poke holes in what you're doing or find holes in what you're doing and say you're not good at this or you're not doing this right, whatever the case may be. Let's start the petition now. We need if the local show is gone, we need to get it back.
Well, we need to find out for sure that it is gone. I might be wrong. I just know that what we had is not there anymore. But maybe there's been a replacement and maybe it's still there with somebody else. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this publicly. I don't give a fuck. The online form for you to submit your music on the website does not work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe I'm just a moron and can't figure it out, but it does not work. And that's what struck me to reach out to the person. And this is when I made the discovery about the changes. So we're going to find out. And if we're right, we're going to call this the title of the show, Bring Back the Local Show or something.
Okay. Let's dig into it and then we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
My biggest, and we don't have to go deep into this because we're going to wrap things up, but my biggest thing with, I like what people are doing on how they're promoting St. Louis music. They're promoting, there are different outlets out there in St. Louis that are promoting local music of all genres.
Can I stop you real quick?
Go ahead.
I hate calling it local music.
Okay.
Because it makes it feel, and it's always made me feel this way, it makes it feel like less than, okay. Every music's local to somewhere. So I don't know. But I know what you're saying. Go on.
So, you call it St. Louis music. It's the same. It's basically the same thing. I understand what you're saying. I just don't know what.
I don't have a solution, by the way. I don't. It's always bothered me, and I've never really known. Go ahead. Okay. Sorry.
Now you made me lose my train of thought.
I'm sorry. Oh, I had to say it.
No, okay. So what I'm saying is I love that there's outlets out there that are in St. Louis to promote music coming out of St. Louis. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The biggest struggle that I always see though is the bubble, is that the St. Louis music is being promoted to St. Louis and finding how to get it outside of St. Louis. I mean, you can put, you put local music on the Point and the Point does stretch farther than St. Louis. I get that. But all these other outlets still are promoting to St. Louis and have to find a way to get out of St. Louis if you want the music to get past the boundaries of Missouri.
Right.
So I don't have a solution to that. I'm just saying that that's always been the struggle that I've seen.
Has someone actually vocalized that struggle to you?
I don't know.
So for instance, and I don't, so of the ones that we've talked about, you're saying their reach is not outside of the city. So no one else has downloaded the app. No one cares. Or is it not promoted to people outside of the city?
From what I can tell, it may be through like social media and stuff like that, but I'm just saying that I feel like the reach could be farther somehow.
Yeah. Well, the reach, it's the internet. The reach can go wherever. It's just getting people to know it exists.
Right. And I don't personally know how to do that.
I can tell you a way to do it.
I'm saying if I'm promoting music, if I'm promoting St. Louis music, but I want to promote it in Ohio, how do I do that?
Throw some money at it.
Okay.
Throw some money at marketing and a marketing strategy, and you can do it.
Yeah.
But everything in this life costs,
Sure. Yeah.
It's not cheap it's not for real. I mean, you have to throw some money at it.
Yeah.
Now I know that's easier said than done, but yeah, I mean, it's possible. The question is do these folks have the resources to do that? Maybe not. I'd be curious to speak to them about it and know that. So it's no different than being a band and promoting outside of your city. It takes, monetarily speaking, it takes a little bit of effort there. You can post on social media all you want. You have to be able to extend that reach beyond your 1,500 followers or your 5,000 followers, right? There are ways to do it. There are ways to do it, but it costs money.
Yeah. If you have 5,000 followers, but all your followers are from Missouri or from right across the river in Illinois, you can promote all day long, but how far is your reach getting? Not very far. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
Needs to be broadened somehow. And maybe
I agree.
It isn't money.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it can be done, but it's just, you gotta, like I said, you gotta throw some dollars at it,
Yeah.
And some people don't want to, and I don't blame them. Money does not grow on trees, but neither do listeners. Gotta find them somehow. They don't.
Yeah.
You don't. I hate this saying, but it's so true in so many aspects of life. You don't know what you don't know, and until you ask, you don't know. Right? It just takes, sometimes you gotta be ignorant to a situation. No shame in that, man. No shame in that at all. Right. It's how long you stay ignorant is where the real problem comes in, Mm-hmm. So we got to find this out. Someone tell us if I'm going to ask. That's fucking sad if that's true, dude. I got to find that out. That's bumming me out. Like, really bumming me out right now. I'm truly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, and I don't have the details on it either, on like what happened or why it happened or anything like that. I'm pretty positive that we don't have a local show anymore.
Yeah.
Unless somebody replaced it and somebody else is doing it. But I do know that I used to see a lot of bands that I follow on social media. I used to see them reaching out to who used to do it and saying, thanks for spinning and thanks for doing this. And I always used to see a social media post about who they were playing at what time throughout all that. Don't see that anymore.
That's true. I was actually looking for that myself. Yeah, you're right. Well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'll fucking do it.
That'd be awesome.
I'll fucking do it. We can do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We can do that.
Let's write them a letter. Let's do something.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta learn the boards or however they do it, but I'm sure I'm intelligent enough to figure it out. I've seen it done before. Let's do it. I might be serious. I might be serious about that too. Anyway, we'll discuss that later. Let's get out.
I don't think that major radio station is going to be where you would do it at. But we could probably find other avenues to do it.
Why not?
We can try.
What are they going to say? No? Oh, damn. Move on with my life.
Ruin my day.
Ruin my day. Go on, go cough. Let's go.
All right.